On Black Sisters Street, 2009, is a novel by Chika Unigwe, a Nigerian-born Belgian author now living in the United States. The story follows four African women, Sisi, Efe, Ama, and Joyce, who are trafficked to Antwerp by a man named Dele. Each woman owes Dele 30,000 euros and is forced into prostitution to repay the debt, handing over 500 euros a month. They live together in an apartment on Zwartezusterstraat in Antwerp's red light district, but each guards her past closely, until Sisi is mysteriously murdered. The novel unfolds through alternating scenes, flashbacks revealing the women's former lives and present-day moments in Antwerp as they cope with Sisi's death. In the first flashback, we meet Sisi, formerly known as Chisum. Unlike the others, she comes from a relatively stable middle-class family in Lagos. She had dreams of upward mobility, studied finance and business administration at university, but struggled to find employment after graduation. Her relationship with Peter spans several years, but she eventually chooses to leave him and accepts Dele's offer to travel to Europe in hopes of a better life. As the story returns to Antwerp, Efe, Ama, and Joyce grapple with news from their landlady, Madam, that Sisi's body has been found. Tensions rise, but bonds begin to form among them. The narrative then shifts to Efe's backstory. At 16, she becomes pregnant by Titus, a much older man who runs a hair weave business. After learning of her pregnancy, Titus abandons her. She gives birth to a boy named Lucky Ikponwosa Li and later meets Dele, who offers her a way out. She leaves her son with family and follows Dele to Europe. Back in the present, the women begin to share more of themselves, slowly unraveling the silence between them. Ama is the next to be revealed. Raised in a deeply religious household, her father, known as Brother Cyril, is a respected pastor. But on the night after her 8th birthday, he begins raping her, a trauma she hides by whispering the truth to the walls of her room. The abuse continues daily until she reaches puberty. As Ama grows older, tensions with Brother Cyril come to a head during a heated argument over her disappointing test scores. In a moment of defiance and pain, she finally confronts her parents about the years of sexual abuse. Brother Cyril furiously denies her accusation, accusing her of being ungrateful. Her mother's reaction is ambiguous. Whether she believes Ama or not remains unclear, but she ultimately chooses the security of their household over her daughter's truth. In a cruel twist, Brother Cyril reveals he is not Ama's biological father, but claims he took in her pregnant mother out of charity. He throws Ama out. With nowhere else to go, she moves in with her mother's cousin, Mama Echo, in Lagos. There, she meets Dele, one of Mama Echo's regular clients, and resolves to prove she doesn't need her family. When Dele offers her the chance to go to Europe, she accepts. Meanwhile, Sisi's narrative continues in short, interspersed scenes. We follow her adjustment to life in Antwerp, meeting Madame Efe and the world of forced sex work. She applies for asylum using a fabricated story, but is denied. In these episodes, we catch glimpses of the city through her eyes. She often wanders the streets, drawn to shops, enjoying the illusion of choice. She frequents a club to meet clients, though she hates the work. She longs for escape. The final backstory belongs to Joyce, known before as Alec. Originally from Sudan, her family attempts to flee during the Civil War, but soldiers intercept them. Her parents and brother are murdered, and Alec is raped. She ends up in a refugee camp, where she eventually meets and falls in love with a Nigerian soldier named Polycarp. When Polycarp is deployed to Lagos, he takes her with him, and they live together for a time, but he begins making trips to Onitsha to visit family and returns one day with his mother. He gently informs Alec that he must marry an Igbo woman to satisfy his family's expectations. Heartbroken, Alec is introduced to Dele through Polycarp. At their meeting, Dele offers her a way out, sex work in Europe. With no better options, she agrees. Dele gives her a new name, Joyce, and arranges her travel. Joyce remembers growing close to Sisi after her arrival in Antwerp, but Sisi's life deteriorates. Regret settles in. She recalls a story about a Ghanaian prostitute whose client fell in love with her, a fantasy she clings to. At a church introduced to her by Efe, Sisi meets Luke, a kind man who begins to pursue her. He eventually falls in love and asks her to leave her life behind and be with him. Though wary of betrayal, Sisi is tempted by the possibility of freedom. After much hesitation, she decides to go with him. Back in the present, The women talk about Madam's harsh behavior in the aftermath of Sisi's death. Then the doorbell rings. It's looking for Sisi. A flashback shows Sisi preparing to run. She arrives at Luck's house, but he's not home. The doorbell rings. It's Segun, the stuttering, awkward man who lives in Madam's apartment with the women. He asks her to come talk with him in the car. Though unsure what he wants, she isn't afraid. She gets in. Segun kills her with a hammer blow to the head. It is later revealed that Dele ordered her murder. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.